Okay, hi. I'm Ricky Williams. Yes, the Ricky Williams, the football player. Blah, 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 blah. So, I'm doing this recording. I got a tweet from my Twitter account, which is at Ricky Williams. So, follow me if you're not already. And a guy asked if I would do a video talking about something, and I was like, okay, that would be fun, but what would I talk about? And so I asked him to send me a script, some questions to answer that would be beneficial for him and hopefully anyone else that cares. If you don't care, don't watch it. If you care, cool. All right, you don't have to agree with what I say. He just asked for my point of view, so I'm giving it to him. So, what are the questions?
How do you find purpose in life?
How do you find purpose in life? You look for it. Just kidding. So, one of the things that I've come across is this idea that if you ask a question without the necessity to find an answer, that you'll create something really, really, really cool. So, a great question. How do you find purpose in life? Okay, well, let's take a step backwards, okay? Why do you have to have a purpose, right? If you look at the way people use purposes, is they use purposes to find a way to make sure that they fail at something so that they can always judge themselves. And when you have to have purpose or a purpose, how much judgment do you have to do to know whether you're succeeding or you're failing? A whole bunch of it, right? And so let me offer a different alternative. How about having a priority, right? Something you would choose to do over something else. See, the energy of a purpose, it's more fixed, you know, and it's like there's this pressure that, oh, I have to find my purpose. I have to have a purpose. And the energy of priority is much softer because priorities can change. And so priority is like, okay, what would I like to do? What would I choose to do before I do something else? When you're functioning from purpose, again, how much judgment do you have to do? When you're functioning from priority, you can change your mind, you can change your priorities, and there's no necessity to judge them as right or judge them as wrong, right? So how many purposes do you have to make sure that you're the failure you've already decided that you are? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So how many purposes do you have to make sure that you're the failure you've already decided that you are? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So, another question here, okay? So, if you could do, have, be, create, generate anything in the world, what would it be? Right? And whatever that is, would you allow yourself to change that tomorrow if it got boring? That's priority. See how that's lighter, more expansive, more fun? So just play with it and see what works.